This is a full height soft close larder unit. This one's in a 500mm wide cabinet, also available in 300, 400 and 600. I'm going to show you the installation process for this, which is the same for all sizes. It comes with 6 baskets, each one taking up 16 kilos, giving you a maximum of just under 100 kilos. It has a nice smooth soft close action. Before you start, make sure that your cabinet is strong and stable, preferably secured to the wall, and if it's anything over 400mm wide, give it 2 extra legs to make sure that it's strong underneath. So first of all, unbox all of your components and check them against the fitting instructions to make sure that you've got everything that you should have and everything marries up. For installing this unit, you will require a pencil, a set square, a tape measure, a ruler, masking tape, a drill, Phillips screwdriver and a spirit level. So you need to find the centre line for your cabinet. And draw down the centre of the cabinet. This is going to be a line for your screws. So take your template and line it up with the centre line of the cabinet, flush with the front. You may find that you need to tape this in position. And from there, put your pilot holes in place for your screws on all of the red spots. That's 8 screw holes in all. So you can now line the runner up with the holes that you've just drilled and screw into position. There are 8 screws in total. So step 2 is to get your top runner in place. So again, the key is finding the centre line. Run your line backwards from there. You're then going to use the second part of the template, which lines up with the front of the line. Again, this will need taping in place. And then put your pilot holes in place. You can then remove your templates, ready for you to screw your top runner in place. I find it easier to do the 2 central holes first, as this holds the runner in position better to put into resting. So you can now assemble the components into the top of your frame. First you've got your spring stop, and that clips in at the back with the 2 larger pins clipping into the 2 lower holes, and the 2 pegs at the top dropping down and clipping in at the sides like that. You've then got your piston, which sits in lining up with the grooves at the side, with the white point facing backwards towards the stop that you've just put in. And this should go in with a loud click. So you can then take your cover, which lines up around the channel, and the hole there clips over these pins each side. So it just slots over and clicks onto those pins. And then you can put your rubber stop on at the front. It just slides over. pushes down. Then if you turn the frame upside down, you can then put on your top collars and covers. So the collars slide on over here, making sure that the grub screws are pointing towards the inside. And your collar drops down over the top, and then just repeat for the other side. So you can now attach the two frames to each other, making sure that it's lined up so that the grooves at the front here line up with that groove at the back there. This is best done upside down as it stops the collars from falling off. So you can now attach the frame to the bottom runner. So if you extend the runner, you can see that in the bottom of the frame there's two bars. These need to engage with the black plastic clips on the runner. So if you lift this into place, drop down and slide backwards. This is easiest done by closing up and pushing right back, and you'll feel it click into place. So if you extend the unit again, you can now raise up the top frame to the correct height. This is lifted up. So if you now measure, it's crucial that the measurement from the underside of the cabinet to the underside of the top frame is 61mm. This is for the safety and stability of the unit. You can then lock this in position with the grub screws on the frame. So if you now squeeze in the sides of this cover and pull it down, you can extend the top runner and then release this cover, which now acts as your stop. You can then close up the unit and repeat the process. So ensure again that you've got 61mm measurement at the front, and then lock off the frame again with the Allen key. So if you now open and close the unit a couple of times, the frame will find its own line with the top runner. And you can then tighten up the grub screws at the bottom with the other Allen key provided to hold the frame in this position, and they just engage with the grooves at the side of the frame. Step 6 is to put the frame brackets onto the frame. Each of the lower ones has 2 threaded holes to choose from, depending on what height you want them at. And once these are on, they're height adjustable. At this stage, it's also essential to put on the adjustment screws, which go onto the outer holes. So step 7 is to take your door mounting brackets and fix them to the frame mounting brackets using the screws and washers. You fix this one in place and then repeat the process with the top one. So at this stage, if you close the unit, place your central bracket and then measure from the bottom of the cabinet up to the central hole. So that gives you your height for fixing this bracket to the door. So then take that measurement and mark up on the door for where you need to be, accounting for the difference between the height of the cabinet and the height of the door. So you can now mount the door on the frame. If you open the unit, And then you can now lower the door down and screw it into place. At this stage, it's worth double checking to make sure that your door is completely in line with the cabinet, so it's not twisted. You can now screw the door to the top and bottom brackets, making sure that it's lined up. And repeat for the other side and for the top bracket. So if you now close the unit up again, you can see there's a gap between the cabinet and the top of the door. And this can be rectified by opening up again and adjusting the tilt of the unit. This is done from the underside of the bottom runner using your 4mm Allen key. It just slots in underneath, and you can raise the screw up, which effectively tilts the unit forwards or backwards depending which way you turn it. And adjust until you're happy that this has been brought back into line. Once you've made this adjustment, it's important to check that you still have the 61mm measurement that you need, and if not, adjust accordingly. Fine adjustment can now be done. Height can be altered by loosening off the screws on the 3 brackets here, and the door will lift up and down. You can do side-to-side movement by loosening the 2 locking screws here and sliding the door one way or the other. And you can adjust the depth the door sits from the cabinet by loosening the locking screws and adjusting the screws underneath, and then locking off again accordingly. This stage, make sure that any debris is cleared from your cabinet. This is especially important around the runners. So you're now ready to put your baskets in. So you use one of these clips on each side. They just push into the holes. Lift your basket into place. The rod along the bottom sits just inside these grooves, and then place your locking clip over the top. Give it a firm push backwards until it clicks. And then repeat that for the other 5 baskets. The top basket is height adjustable, and that's done by loosening the grub screw with your Allen key, dropping the bracket to the height that you want it, repeating that with the other side. The height of the baskets can be adjusted at any time. All you do is take this cover off, which is easiest done by just popping a screwdriver into the groove there and pushing forward with your fingers, and the whole bracket pops off. So this is the finished product, full height soft close Larder unit. It will give you years of service as long as you give it proper care and maintenance. Make sure that you keep the bottom runner free of oil and lubricant, and don't use any harsh abrasives when cleaning it. So thank you for watching.